Savitri notes and comments. His Gold's son. Savitri is growing into her full maidenhood. Maidenhood, a beauty and glowing youth. Her physical, that is ablaze in the gold-rich splendor of the fire. Her life forces, speeding on white chargers of haste and strength. Her mind voyaging to strange high worlds of idiom that never yet touched the earthly soil. Her royalty and majesty is too imperial even for the noblest, even for the Aryan prince to approach her, to woo her, to claim her as his. She looks so remote, too lofty, her height to climb, too bright an image to hold in sight, that it could become a matter of concern for her parents. The race of man didn't seem to be ready to receive her. The race of man didn't seem to be ready to receive her, to let her do her great and mighty work in this world, in this world afflicted with smallness, uplifted was live in secrecy, or conscious of some splendor hidden above. They live to find her in a moment's glance, glimpsing light in a celestial world, but could not keep the vision and the power, and fell back to life's dull, ordinary tone. They could not keep up with her tireless step, too small and eager for her last best will, too narrow to look with the unborn infinite's gaze. Their nature weary grew of things too great. Their nature weary grew of things too great. Even the close partners of her thoughts, who could have walked the nearest to her, who could have walked nearest to her, they only worshipped her. Her power and light, worshipped her power and light. The power and light they felt in her, but hardly could they match the measure of her steps. Human, yet divine, matchless measures of her soul. Such yawning hiatus, even if they walked with her, and though she was close to their bosom, yet she always remained supreme and afar. She always remained supreme and afar. Admiring and amazed, they saw her stride. Admiring and amazed, they saw her stride. Attempting with a godlike rush and leap, heights for their human pleasure to remove, or longing with their self of life and flesh, they clung to her for harsh nourishment and support. The rest they could not see in visible light. Vaguely they bore her inner mightiness, or bound by the senses and the longing heart, adoring with a turbid human love, adoring with a turbid human love, they could not grasp the mighty spirit she was. They could not grasp the mighty spirit she was, or chained by closeness to be even as she. Some felt her with their soul and thrilled with her. To see her was a summon to adore, to be near her, drew a high communion suppose. They clung to her for heart's nourishment and support. They clung to her for heart's nourishment and support. This is a very interesting line. They clung to her for heart's nourishment and support. It scans, they clung, I am, to her spirit for heart's, I am, nourishment, dactyl, and support, anapest. With dactyl anapest, as they last 2 feet, quite an enjoyable instance in it, make a small change. Interchange those two words, nourishment and support, and all poetry is gone. At once gone, it gets lost. Poetry gets badly lost. Just interchange nourishment and support. The poetry gets completely lost. They clung to her for her support and nourishment. They clung, I am, to her spirit for her, I am, support, amphibrach, nourishment, tactile, and there would be the smoothness of rhythm. Certainly, they clung, I am, to her spirit for her, I am, support, I am, and now I am, nourishment, spirit is just out of the question. It becomes a 6 footer, not a very welcome composition, not at all. But let us get back to the text. The love of human heart is turbid and repulsive. It is emotional vital, with crudeness and brutality, which is not there even in the animal. A love that is and does not give. It is wicked bestial instinct. The noble that is there in sex has become ugly and fierce and vicious and possessive, has become ugly and fierce and vicious and possessive. The vital eating into the vital, they eating into each other's vital, they drawing closer to death. Death, O ye the perpetrator of falsehood, or bound by senses and longing harm, adoring with a turbid human love, they could not grasp the mighty spirit she was, or change the closeness to be even as she. They could not grasp the mighty spirit she was, or change the closeness to be even as she. Let us scan this line. Or bound I am by the sense and appeal, sense and spirit. The long I am in heart I am. Adore I am in with spirit. Eternal I am it human love I am. They could not grant crocky, spondy. The mind, the spirit I am, she was an apaist. Or change I am, my close I amness to spirit, be I am even as she an apaist. In the third line, Trocky's Pondy beginning may look loud in a plain narrative, but clearly the implication is for the overall inadequacy of those who were close to her, their inadequacy. The last line could be I am, tribrac, rocky, I am. But the last foot in both the last two lines is better as an anapest. How do men worship a God? How do men worship a God? God who is too great for them to know. How do men worship a God who is too great for them to know? Here it is. Too high, too vast to bear a limiting shade. Too high, too vast, sponty, to bear and a limb. I am eating the anapest. Spondy, I am anapest. Too high, too vast to bear a limiting dream. With too powerful spondy, they compellingly feel present and obey a might. They compellingly feel present and obey a might. Quicken their heartbeats to a divine archer. So did people approach Savitri, and then open to a breathtaking new diviner air. Open to man in a freer, happier world. He sees high steps climbing to self and light. Open to a breathtaking new diviner air. Open to man in a freer, happier world. He sees high steps climbing to self and I, open, talking to a breath and a breath. Is a new and a breath, divine, talking air am. Open, talking to man and is a free and a breath, have I am, pure world and a breath. Rocky followed by Anapest. Rocky followed by I am Anapest. No wonder they were moved by her. They were moved by her. They were moved by her towards great unknown things. They were moved by her towards great unknown things. They were moved by her towards great unknown things. They were moved by her towards great unknown things. They were moved and appeased by her spirit towards and I am great and rocky known things spontaneous. That was something noble and inspiring and positive. They saw in the glory and greatness of Savitri a larger future opening in their walk. They saw in the glory and greatness of Savitri a larger future opening in their walk. The full passages, they felt a larger future made them walk. She held their hand, she chose for them their path. They were moved by her to a great unknown thing. Faith drew them, and the joy to feel themselves in her. They lived in her. They saw the world with her eyes. They felt a larger future made their warm. She held their hand. She chose for them their path. She chose for them their path. They were moved by her to a great unknown thing. Faith drew them, and the joy to feel themselves her. They lived in her. They saw the world with her eye. Yet it seemed that something was wanting. They asked from her movement bounded like the road, and to their smallness craved a like response. Something was wanting. They asked from her movement bounded like the road. They asked from her movement bounded like her own, and to the smallness craved a like response. They asked, I am from her bow and of a man's bound, I am spirit, I am. And to the smallness craved like a response. And to spirit, the small I am grave. I am a life spirit response. I am movements bounded like their own. Movements bounded like their own. How could that be? Hers is the loftiest expectation. This comrade self to raise to her own wide breadth. Her heart is sad and filled with her own power, that a divine force might enter life, a breath of Godhead, greaten human time. This comrade self to raise to her own wide breadth. Her heart is sad and filled with her own power, that a divine force might enter life, a breath of Godhead, greaten human time. The last line is perfect in its iambic beat all through. A breath of Godhead, greaten human time. A breath of Godhead, greaten human time. Perfect iambic beat. She has taken the mortal birth. But she is not going to descend down to the smallness and lowness of the mortal. Rather, it is to change this littleness to her bigness that she is here. It is to change his littleness of this mortal to her bigness. It is for that she is here. She must find one who can participate in that task of her, and she had the conviction that such a one is there upon earth. It is they together who can bring the gifts of largess and immortality to the earth-tide earthly creature. It is they together who can bring gifts of largeness and immortality to the death-tide earthly creature. That ancient longing for those gifts of largeness and immortality strike roots deep within again. Savitri gave the word, and an equal greatness in her life is sown. The golden virgin reaches deep meditation seal. The golden virgin reaches deep meditation seal. Fate and the wheels of time I conspire to bring Savitri and Satyavan together. Fate and wheels of time I conspire to bring Savitri and Satyavan together. The virgin golden chariot, Hiranyaratha, golden chariot, Hiranyaratha, has arrived at the destined place in the secret ancient Salva, in the ancient secret Salva. There, expectation beat, wide sudden wing, expectation beat, wide sudden wing, and the eyes of seeing eternity worked a miracle in the great luxurious field of the terrestrial setting. A stranger on the sorrowful rose of time, a stranger on the sorrowful rose of time, immortal under the yoke of death and fame, immortal under the yoke of death and fame, a sacrificant of the bliss and pain of the spear. Love in the wilderness met Savitri. Love in the wilderness met Savitri. A stranger on the sorrowful rose of time, immortal under the yoke of death and fame, a sacrificant to the bliss and pain of the spear. Love in the wilderness met Savitri. A stranger on the sorrowful rose of time, immortal under the yoke of death and fame, a sacrificant to the bliss and pain of the spear. Love in the wilderness met Savitri, immortal under the yoke of death and fate, immortal under the yoke of death and fame. That is Satyavan. He, the Supreme Himself Supreme Himself incarnate in the denseness of the night of inconscience. He is under the grip of death, the evolving soul in the material creation, under the grip of death. For him, a glorious point in time has come to be got rid of the stronghold of death. Time has come to be got rid of the stronghold of death. That is going to happen in his meeting Savitri, who alone can loosen that grip, who alone can loosen that grip, who alone can loosen that grip, can eliminate it, remove it completely, the bonds of sorrow and death and pain, tying him and the suffering creation had to go. She is here now for that. The bonds of sorrow and death and fate, tying him in the suffering creation had to go. She is here now for that. Satyavan is already a wonderful shining youth of richest nobility, wonderful shining youth of richest nobility, full of Aryan spirit, Aryan, noble, grand, majestic, Aryan, full of Aryan spirit and high spiritual attainment. Also, a spear of God to pierce into the depths of darkness, but but he is stuck. Mastery of nature is his, and he is as rhythmic with the primal force of the ancient mother. It's a ripened soul now, but unable to resolve the spirit matter dichotomy. It is a ripened soul, but unable to resolve the spirit matter dichotomy. I converse with nature, muse with the chainless sun, God's watchfires burning in ignorant night, and saw upon the mighty visage fall a ray prophetic of the eternal sun. I sat with the forest sages in the trance. There poured awakening streams of diamond light. I claim the present to the one and all. I claim the present to the one and all. I claim the present to the one and all. But still, there lacked the last transcendent power, and matter still slipped empty of its lore. But still, there lacked the last transcendent power, and matter still slipped empty of its lore. The spirit was saved, the body lost and bare, live still with death and ancient ignorance. The spirit was saved, the body lost and bare, live still with death and ancient ignorance. The inconscient was its bane, the void is pain, but thou hast come and all will surely change. Thou hast come, and all will surely change. I shall feel the warm mother in thy golden lane, and hear her wisdom in thy sacred voice. The child, the voice shall be reborn in God. The child, the voice shall be reborn in God. My matter celebrate in conscience trance. My body, like my spirit, shall be free. It shall escape from death and ignorance. My body, like my spirit, shall be free. It shall be free. It shall escape from death and ignorance. I converse with nature, muse with the chainless star. God's watchfire burning in ignorant night, and saw upon her mighty visage fall a ray prophetic of the eternal sun. I sat with the forest sages in their trance. There poured awakening streams of diamond light, I cling to present to the one and all, but still they lack the last transcendent power, and matter still slept empty of its Lord. The spirit was saved, the body lost and new, live still with death and ancient ignorance. The inconscient was his bane, the void is pain. But thou hast come, and all will surely change. I shall feel the world mother in thy golden lane, and hear her wisdom and thy sacred voice. The child, the voice shall be born, gone. The child shall be born, gone. The child, the voice shall be reborn in God. My matter shall fade in conscience trance. My body, like my spirit, shall be free. It shall escape from death and ignorance. Body still lived with death, the bane of age long mortality that has to go. The bane of age long mortality that has to go. Satyavan at once recognizes that it is Savitri who alone can remove it, who alone can dissolve it. Satyavan at once recognizes that it is Savitri who alone can remove it, dissolve it. Thou hast come, and all will surely change. The split between this and that he was not able to end. But now the gold lane comes to me with thy feet, and his gold sun has shone on my feet. But now the gold lane comes to me with thy feet, and his gold sun has shone on me from thy feet. But now the gold lane comes to me with thy feet, and his gold sun has shone on me from thy feet. The supreme gold sun from her face, the supreme gold sun from her face. What an astounding revelation already! An astounding revelation already, quite in the very first glance of Savitri. How wonderful! A deep identity of the two spirits. Let us scan these lines. The first line with three possibilities. But now the gold link comes to me with thy feet. I am spondy, pyrrhic, and apis. But now the gold link comes to me with thy feet. Amphibrach, spondy, trochee, pyrrhic, I am. But now the gold link comes to me with thy feet. But now the tribrach, spondy, trochee, pyrrhic, I am. And his gold sun has shone on me from thy face. Pyrrhic, spondy, I am, pyrrhic, anapist. While the first can be taken as a conventional scan with a line ending with an anapist, the second focuses well on the spondy in the second foot. Goal-ling. But the last, beginning with almost a triac, not only focuses the next foot as a spondy, but also strengthens it in a very extraordinary way. Crocky, the third foot, further enhances its focus and strength in a distinct way. The gold length becoming yet stronger and glowing. It goes extremely well with the spondy in the next line with gold sun, gold length and gold sun. Here we have gold length and gold sun, gold length and gold sun, gold length and gold sun, a symbol of a new beginning of life upon earth, and the wonder and greatness and splendor of the divine light. Gold length and gold sun, a symbol of a new beginning of life upon earth, in the wonder and greatness and splendor of the divine light.